Okay, today's lesson is on solving equations and formulas. All right, before we begin this lesson, you need to go through. I want you to read this top paragraph as well as examples 1 and 2. So pause the video and do that now. Okay, now that you've done that, now we're going to do some practice work. Now, for this, you may want to do some of this on your own piece of paper. And if that's the case, then you will need to also submit that file as well. All right, so let's come over here. Let's look at number 1. So we're solving each equation or formula for the specified variable. So in this case, we're going to solve for x. Now, to make it easier, I'm going to highlight that x so I know that that is what I'm trying to isolate. So when I'm solving for the variable, I'm going to pretend like the a, the b, and the c are just regular old numbers and that the x is the only variable. So what would I do in that case? Step 1 is I'm going to add b to both sides. B is just some number, so those cancel. I'm left with ax equals, now c plus b those aren't like terms, so I'm just going to write c plus b right there. And I'm going to keep that x highlighted. Okay, ax means a times x. So to get a alone, to isolate it, I'm going to divide both sides by a. So that leaves me with x. And then that c plus b divided by a, well, I don't know what any of those actually represent, so I'm just going to leave it as c plus b divided by a. And that is going to be my final answer. Okay, so that's it for number 1. Let's try number 2. So 15x plus 1 equals y, and we're solving this for x as well. So I'm going to highlight that x so I know I'm isolating it. So if I'm getting it alone, first I'm going to get rid of that 1. So I'm going to subtract 1 on both sides. That leaves me with 15x on the left. Now, y minus 1. You don't know what y represents. So we're going to leave that as just y. And that would be y minus 1. Okay, again, you're still trying to isolate the x. 15x means 15 times x. So if I divide both sides by 15, then that would get x alone. So x equals, okay, and we can just leave this as y minus 1 all divided by 15. Okay, so that's it. X is equal to y minus 1 all divided by 15. Let's try another problem. Let's look at number 3. This time we are also, again, isolating x or solving for x. So I'm going to highlight that x so I know I'm trying to get it alone. Now, x is in parentheses this time, so I'm going to leave it there. Outside of the parentheses, I have that 2. So I'm going to subtract 2 on both sides of my equation. So this is gone. That x plus f is all that's left on the left side of the equation, so you can drop your parentheses. On the right, I'm just going to have j minus 2. Again, you're trying to isolate the x, so we're going to get rid of that f. And to get rid of it, I'm going to have to subtract f on both sides. So it leaves me with x. So I'm doing j minus 2 minus f. None of those are like terms. So I'm just going to leave it as j minus 2 minus f. And that's what x equals. And that's it for number 3. Let's do number 4. For number 4, we are solving for y. Okay, actually I meant to highlight it right there. All right, so I'm trying to get y alone. So step 1 here would be to get rid of that z. So we're always getting rid of that addition or subtraction first. So I'm going to subtract z on both sides. That leaves me with xy equals 9 minus z. So again, I'm going to highlight that y because I'm trying to get it alone. Xy means x times y. So I'm going to divide both sides now by x, leaves me with just y, and 9 minus z all divided by x, I'm just going to leave it as 9 minus z all divided by x. Okay, let's try another problem. Let's look at number 5. This time we're going to solve for k. So let me highlight that k so I know that that's the one I'm isolating. Okay. Now, there's more than one way to do this. Probably the easiest way is to go ahead and get rid of that x. So it's x times the quantity 4 minus k. So if I divide this side by x, boom, it's gone. So let's divide both sides by x. That leaves me with 4 minus k equals p over x, or divided by x. Again, I'm solving for k. Okay, so how am I going to get rid of that 4? I'm going to have to subtract 4 on both sides. Now that doesn't leave me with k, it leaves me with negative k equals p over x minus 4. So you want just k, not negative k. Negative k is the same as negative 1k. There's more than one way to get rid of that. Probably the easiest way is just to multiply everything through by negative 1. If I multiply everything through by negative 1, negative 1 times negative 1k is just plain old k. Now he's alone. Negative 1 times p over x is going to give me, hold on a minute, let me bring this over here so we can see better. So that's k. Negative 1 times p over x is going to be negative p over x. And that negative 1 times, just treat this as a negative 4 right now. So negative 1 times negative 4 is positive 4. So I'm going to write plus 4. So that's my answer for that one. K is equal to negative p divided by x plus 4. Okay, so your job now is to finish this sheet. So you're going to do 6 through 15. So pause the video and do 6 through 15, and then we'll come back and check. Good luck. Okay, here are the solutions for problems 6 through 15. I highly recommend you pause this video and check over your solutions. Make sure you understand everything. If you have questions about anything, you need to contact your teacher. Upload this assignment, and then you should be prepared to complete your independent practice. Again, if you have any questions about anything, do not hesitate to ask.